Hey, what's up? We're gonna do a quick lesson recap and expansion on what we've been talking about. So we've been going over the, well, we've been doing this for a few months now, and your hand should be comfortable with the basic chord shapes. The major chords, we've got A major, B major, C major, D major, E major, F major, and G major. And for the minor chords, we have A minor, we have B minor, we have C minor, we have D minor, we have E minor, we have F minor, and G minor. Cool. And we've talked about the major and minor scales. Let's see, we've got, if we played C major scale with the shape that we're using and we put it on the 8th fret of the low E string, we have that's C major. If we wanted to make that a minor scale, we would play Cool. So the reason why I showed you these scales is because we can now look at these scalar tones as numbers. So if we played the major scale, the C major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 7 tones in every scale, 8 if you count the octave. 8 is the same tone as 1, just up a higher octave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I told you to build a chord off the second tone in the C major scale, it would either be D minor or D major, because C, D, that's the second tone of the chord. If we were playing that in A flat, we could take that same, if we were playing the A flat major scale, we could take the same shape, and if I told you to build a chord off the second scalar tone in the A flat, in the key of A flat, it would be either B flat major or B flat minor, because A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when we start talking about songs and the progressions that these artists do to make these songs, I'm gonna talk about numbers. So we've already talked about the folk pattern that that I like, that I mentioned I played a lot in church when we were playing hymns, almost every hymn, or if you like folk music, if you like Woody Guthrie, a lot of American folk music uses the 1-4-1-5 pattern. But what I mean by 1-4-1-5, you should gather, if we were playing it in the key of C, we could use that C major scale. C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C, D, E, F, G. So you know that the chords are going to be C, F, and G. Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once, back to 1. So that's 1, 4, 1, 5. Or you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. That's 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. If we're gonna talk about pop songs and like pop punk, pop rock songs, a lot of them use 1, 5, 4, 5. So, like I said, if we're playing in the key of C major, we got C, F, G. So C major, F, C major, G major, F major, G major. Let me think. Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home. Na 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 na. 1, 5, 4, 5. All the Small Things, Blink 182, and a bunch of other songs like that. If you'll catch what I'm doing is I'm trying to teach you a bunch of songs at once. I'm trying to teach you your ear how to recognize songs faster so that you learn more songs in the long run. I know this is like the theory is a little boring sometimes, but I hope that it makes sense. So we talked about folk, we talked pop. So we could talk about my favorite, which is jazz. So jazz is a lot of 2, 5, 1s. So if we're in the key of C, D, G, C. For this, the 2 will be minor. So it would be like D minor, G major, C major. If you wanted to play without the fancy extensions, we've got you can experiment with your songwriting with that, or if you really wanted to get into that, I recommend Chet Baker. Chet Baker Sings is the name of the album. It's a very good album of just very basic jazz structure. He plays trumpet, which I had to learn. It's important to learn other instruments, to learn how to like hear other instruments when you're learning your own instrument, because then you can kind of figure out what they're doing, and then you can kind of plug that into what you're doing, and you can have this really cool experiment session. We've got his song "But Not For Me." Well, not his song, he covers it on this album. They're writing songs of love, but not for me. Lucky stars above, but not for me. And he does some more embellishments in that song with love to lead the way. I've seen more clouds of gray than any Russian play can guarantee. But he still ends those phrases with that 2, 5, 1. That's E minor, A flat major, D major. Cool. So we've talked about folk, we've talked about pop, and we've talked about jazz. What else do we got? We can talk about doo-wop. Doo-wop 1, 6. 1 6 4 5. 1 6 4 5. So many songs like this. If we're in the key of C major, we're gonna have the 6 B minor. So C major, A minor, F major, G major. That's cool. Listen to the penguins. Earth angel, will you be mine? A lot of songs from that era, they might deviate with a bridge where they do something a little bit different, but they always tend to return to that 1 6 4 5 progression. And I like this one because if you play it with bar chords, it feels really nice. It feels really nice. If you played it in G, that's G major, E minor, C major, D major. Cool. So we've talked about folk, that's 1 4 1 5, and then we've talked about jazz, that's 2 5 1 2 5 1. We've talked about pop, that's 1 5 4 5. We've talked about doo-wop, now that's 1 6 4 5. And I guess another sort of rite of passage in guitar learning is the 12-bar blues. It's called 12 bars because it's a 12 measure pattern. This one is kind of wordy, lengthy, so I'm just going to show you an image, but it is maybe the last measure might split between it might be half a measure of 5 and half a measure of 1. But listen to Mustang Sally is a 12-bar blues. People like Stevie Ray Vaughan loved the 12-bar blues. If you want to listen to real blues, you can dig into the old Southern blues. Listen to Son House. Son House was a big inspiration for like Jack White from the White Stripes. Listen to Death Letter by Son House, and then listen to Ballin' a Biscuit by the White Stripes. Ballin' a Biscuit is a 12-bar blues, but it's slower than you think because you'll hear Jack White's guitar and it's and then on that 5th measure he'll go to an A major. He'll embellish a little bit because he's Jack White, he can have fun, but it's essentially just E major, E major, E major, E major, A major, A major, E major, E major, sorry, I blanked. B major, A major, E major, and then B major. That's 1 1 1 1 4 4 1 1 5 4 1 5. Very good song. Check it out, listen to it, and play with it with your amp all hooked up, and you'll have a lot of fun. I promise. That is going to do it for this lesson, and when we meet up we're going to talk about extensions, specifically for like a lot of people play the 12-bar blues with like this shell-shaped chord pattern. gonna start adding sevenths, and we're gonna start looking at more songs and try to look at the structure of them so that we can start writing our own songs, start enjoying basic patterns. We're gonna have fun looking at patterns and making them our own. So I'm excited for you, and yeah, I will see you at our next lesson. Sorry if this was a little bit late, but you're doing good. Thanks.